Let's take a look at taking apart the Apex. So there are a few tools that I recommend. It's fairly easy to get apart, but if you have the right tools, it makes it a whole lot easier. So what we're gonna need first is you need a screwdriver, and this is a Phillips #0 screwdriver. I have the iFixit kit with a number of different screw bits, so just make sure you have a #0. You could also use a single screwdriver if that's what you have. Then what we need is a plastic pry tool, and this is gonna be used for the top to get a plate that's up here off. Just to get around the bumper, this is just much easier. You're also gonna need I call it like a guitar pick kind of pry tool, but if you have a guitar pick, that's also gonna do the work. This is to loosen the clips that are around the case, but I'll show that to you in a minute. And we're also gonna need something like a paper clip, or if you have a SIM card popper, because there's the mini SSD slot here that we have to open up. So make sure you have that. I had one that was coated, so just make sure to take the coating off so it fits in. And then what I recommend is to have a tray of some sort. Like this is the iFixit one that comes with this kit. I'm gonna link this down in the description. I use this kit all the time, highly recommend it. It's great if you have to do any kind of like repairs or just really get into any electronics. So this way you have little compartments to store your screws and just keep things organized. So can't stress enough, the right tools makes the job way easier. And actually, before I move on, if you're in an area that's really cold and dry, like where I am in Canada, this is the iFixit, and you don't have to get iFixit, you can get whatever you want. It's basically there's a metal plate here, it's a wristband that you can connect to a bare piece of metal to make sure that you're grounded. It just gets rid of any kind of static electricity. I've been getting static electricity all day, just touching random things, so I don't want anything to get damaged in the device. So highly recommend this if you're in an environment like mine. Okay, so now that we've gone through all that, let's actually take a look at what we need to do here. So the first thing is obviously make sure the device is powered down, and you're also gonna wanna take off the battery. So just pull the clips, put the battery aside, and you're good to go. If you take a look at the back of the device, there's no screws here for you to take out, which is good. So I can't say for sure on the liquid cooled model if there's anything here that has to be removed, but on this model there isn't, so keep that in mind. There might be slight variances for the liquid cooled model. Once I get mine, I'll take a look at that and I can drop a comment if there is anything different. Okay, next for the screws, where are they? They're actually at the top and the bottom, but for the top, there's a plate here that you have to pop loose. So I recommend going around the bumper and just gently prying up on one of the corners, and then you can slowly lift it up. I recommend using this tool. We'll get to that in a minute though. Taking a look at the bottom, what we have to remove here is 4 screws. They're kind of evenly spaced here. And also this mini SSD slot. So for that, that's where I recommend having a pin or having a paper clip, just something that you can stick in the hole here so that you can pop it out. And that's about it. That's all you have to do for getting the actual cover off. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna take out these bottom screws and then we'll carry on to the next step. Okay, so we've got the bottom all taken out here. The last thing is gonna be this tray. So take your pin, put it in the right hole here and just push, and then you can actually just slide it right out. And this is what it looks like. So just put that aside and then the bottom is good to go. Now we can move on to the top. So as mentioned, we got to take this little plate that's on here off. It's fairly straightforward. Basically, you want to come at the corner and you're just going to find somewhere that you can lift it. And you got to be very gentle. You don't want to damage anything. You may also find some luck with this pry tool. Actually, you know, I'm thinking about it now. This might be a better option, is use this guitar pick shaped pry tool. So what you want to do is get a finger under there. Now I've got this lightly popped up and you just slowly want to pull this up. You may also benefit from popping from the other side too, just so that this last section isn't quite as difficult. Okay, so once you've got this off, this is what it looks like. We're gonna put that aside. There's also going to be some loose buttons, so make sure to put those aside as well. You don't have to really worry about, they're pretty straightforward for where they go. There's also one that's attached by a wire. Right here, there's this loose part. You just gotta be very careful not to damage that. Now that we've got the plate off, we can go ahead and take these screws off. There's one screw here, two screws in the middle, and then one last screw here. So we'll go ahead and take those out. So now we're going to take this pry tool, and what we need to do is work around the edge. So I recommend starting around the trigger, and you just kind of wedge this in there. And once you've got it in, you just need to run it along the edges. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. pull the back cover off gently. Just make sure all the clips are undone, including at the top. So it looks like a couple were still on here. And now that you've got it apart, you just can lift the cover away. Be mindful that there is a connection here, so just don't pull it away too harshly. That's basically how you get into the device. If you're looking to change the SSD or do any kind of repair, that's basically how you do it. Even maintenance like cleaning the device. So to take this fan off, it's pretty easy. Use your same screwdriver, the 0 Phillips head, and there's basically a screw here and here, and that's it. Then you got to remove the tape. So very, very simple. So we're going to take the fan off. And now we can lift up the fan. You can see that the fan is now loose. We can take the tape off here. Just make sure you don't throw away the tape. You're going to want to stick it back on when you're done. So you can peel it off of the heatsink here, the fins there, and you can unplug this if you want further down, or in my case, I'm just going to set it aside. Now you have access to the SSD, so it's pretty straightforward to get to. Now that we have this off, what I recommend is you can remove this ribbon cable just so that you can get easier access. We're going to lift this up, just take our pry tool, and we're going to pop it up like that. Now we have full access. So basically we have one screw here to take off if you want to take it out. And all you have to do is take the one screw out. And make sure to put your screw aside. Now you can take your SSD out. If you're curious about the SSD, that's the brand. So my autofocus is struggling here, so hopefully you can read that. I'm going to continue going here and take off the second fan. Basically the same thing as this fan. It's just 2 screws, very easy to take off here. And then you just have to remove the tape. Like it's very straightforward. So I'm going to put these screws in here, make sure that they're safe. And you'll notice on my compartments that I'm putting screws in different boxes. Highly recommend this just to make sure that you don't mix up what's what. So I have everything divided up here. And because I'm recording it, if I forget, I can always watch. So I recommend recording your videos, recording yourself as well if you're not certain on it, because then you can always just double check what you put where and make sure that you actually can keep track. Okay, so we're going to take this tape off here. You can keep it attached to the fan if you want, or the heatsink, whichever one, just as long as they're not connected. And all you need to do is lift it straight up, and now you're good. You can unplug it here if you want, or in my case, I'm just going to set it aside so we can take a look. Okay, so we got one more thing removed here. We have our heatsink here. It looks like we have 4 copper pipes, which is decent. The nice big spread here. We have a number of screws obviously securing it down. Like this is kind of par for the course. And if you're wondering why this is moving, this is a prototype unit and there's actually an issue on the board where this came loose. Don't expect that on retail. It should be perfectly fine. This is just this particular unit. Yeah, so taking a look inside here, like we have our controller set up here that looks pretty similar to, I would say, like the F1 Pro. Like we've got more plastic covers. It seems like it's a little bit more put together, like compared to some of their older devices that were a little bit more barren. Down here, it looks like we have a daughter board here that connects the 2 controls together. So this is where this ribbon cable that we currently have off will attach here. And we have the other side attached here where we can basically have them come together. So we have the connection that basically connects the external battery to the board itself. So I did that. I took it off just in case there's any kind of like residual power. You probably didn't have to, but it can't hurt. So this board, yeah, we have our USB-C at the bottom, which I believe is 3.2 Gen 2. I have to verify that. That might be USB 4. You know, upon further reflection, I don't think this is actually anything to do with the battery because we have a second one here. So the battery connection is actually underneath. And because we don't have a battery connected, we should be perfectly fine. I'll go ahead and pop this ribbon cable out as well because it's also kind of getting in my way. Here you can see if you want to go a little deeper. And actually, I think to remove the heatsink and change the thermal paste, you're going to have to remove this, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws that you'll have to lift, and then you'll get access to down here. So, you know what? We're already this far. Why don't we take this off and take a peek? Now that we have the 5 screws off, this board should just lift up. And be careful because, you know, make sure you disconnect both of these. I did not. So now we have that disconnected, and here's the board itself. We have our mini SSD slot, we have our micro SD, we have our USB. I believe it's 3.2, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to verify that. It might be USB 4. And that's pretty much it. So this is all just I/O that connects, and it seems to connect through these two connections at the bottom. So we'll put that aside. And now you can see we have full access to the heatsink. And if we wanted to take it out, there's a few different screws holding it down. So if you want to take it out, there's 2 screws here. There are the screws holding down the actual heatsink underneath. So much for not going deeper into the device. I just can't help myself. So let's go ahead and get these off. Okay, and with a little bit of pressure, we can actually lift this up. Now I'm going to be very cautious because I don't want to get anything on this, and I'm probably just going to put it right back down. But this is what you have here. You have a few pads, you have the APU here in the middle, and there seems to be a lot of the modules down here that are basically covered. And here's what the heatsink actually looks like. So it's pretty big heatsink. But here's a picture of the board if you want to get a closer look. Hopefully the camera is able to pick it up well enough and you can get a good sense of what we're dealing with here. Now, before I mess anything up, I'm going to go ahead and put this back down. Okay, I've got the heatsink back down. I tightened all the screws and it's nice and solid again. Now I'm just putting the daughter board back on. So we're just going to put those 5 screws back on. I'll go ahead and do that now. And with that in, we can go ahead and begin to attach the ribbon cables again. So there's these 2 at the bottom. So for those, you can just line them up and just press them in. Make sure that they're in though. And you should hear it click down like pretty solid once you get it right. So just make sure that, you know, if for some reason you're doing craziness like me and taking this apart, that you're just doing it right. So that's back in. Now we can attach these ribbon cables. But you know what? I'm going to leave them off because I'm going to go further into the controller side right away. Okay, so upon further inspection, these triggers are actually underneath the heatsink. So I'm not going to be able to take this out right now. It's a little bit more complicated to get all the buttons out. But what I've done is I've just taken another video on my phone here where we're going to look at the controller. So one thing is you can see all the connections here. And one thing that I want to take a special note of is that there's actually this little micro switch there that is actually for the trigger stop. So when you turn the trigger stop on, that actually turns it into a micro switch button because that thing I was just showing gets pushed against the micro switch. So that is kind of cool. I wasn't sure if it was, like it kind of sounded like it, felt like it, but now we've confirmed it. We also have our speakers at the bottom, our haptic feedback just above. And yeah, the trigger assembly looks like a little bit better quality than some of the previous Onexplayer devices. Like it looks pretty well put together. But as I mentioned, the bumpers, and I'm not a big fan of this, they're actually secured to the frame underneath the heatsink here. So if you want to get access to it, you pretty much have to lift the heatsink out, which I'm really not a fan of that. It's underneath there. You can maybe like pull it up, but I don't recommend like, you know, bending the heat pipes to get to it. You can also see the joysticks there. They look like they're the same case silver that we're used to on most of the devices. And yeah, overall, it looks like it's pretty well put together. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is there's not much else really to show here. Like I'm not going to go deeper than what I've done already. I'm not going to lift this board up, but hopefully this is giving you a bit of a look on the inside. I'm not going to bother showing you the reassembly process because, you know, you're just wanting to see what it looks like on the inside. I will show that though in my SSD upgrade video on how to put it back together. But of course it won't be quite as taken apart as this is now. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there's other things that you want to see, I have very limited time with this device, but I will be getting my personal one. Just let me know in the comments. And you know, if it's something I can pull off, then I'll see if I can do it. Yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this and thanks for watching.